Whatever. All right, we are officially a go. We are live. Welcome to Culture Gumbo. Ooh, episode 36.
I don't even know what episode we on. I'm
I
old.
think we're on episode 36. If I'm
I'm
wrong, I'll correct me later in the comments. But anywho, thank you so much for joining another great episode of Culture Gumbo. I am your host, Shakira, along with Mr. Philly over there. Um, and we have a great show for you
the
today.
same Philly you be slandering all the time. That's what it is. So I just want people to know that
I
in case
love
my
my
family
Philly
and my
people.
peoples is watching because you from dirty Jersey and you be trying to clown
I
my
love
people.
my Philly people. That's all I'm gonna say. But our show today, we are talking about. We're still in Black History Month. However, we'll still
Still,
be
it's
talking Black all
the best
year.
of series is continuing. You know what I'm
Um,
saying? And this is a
so
ridiculous one.
we got the top Black love movies for y'all, and this criteria was really based on our favorites.
Yeah,
Um,
I want to hear that shit in the comments, bro, because y'all went crazy on my TikTok about that last list.
yeah,
And
the last list was
I want to put
crazy.
this out here, right? So we do a pre-show, like, and we prepare for the show before, right? I ain't seen Shakira's list, so Shakira cheated the system. I'm
I
just
didn't
putting that out
cheat.
there like that.
First of all, my list was done before yours, Will. So it's all good. Anyway, let's start. We're gonna go opposite of what we normally do. We're gonna go from 10 down and we're gonna talk about it. So let's go. It's so funny though, because I don't have a few things that Will have on his list. So let's go.
Because you probably got like Lady Sings the Blues and
Number 10. Lady Sings the Blues would have been on there though. Number 10.
ah,
Jumping the Broom was a really good movie. I thought it was so cute. I felt all butterfly-ish, and it was like all that he did to try to capture, even though he messed up in the end. But I mean, I like Paula Patton. Angela Bassett is a fave. So Jumping the Broom was my number 10.
it's
Um,
it's not a bad choice.
uh, and Will has Love and Basketball because
So
he has so much to say about Love and Basketball. So let's go. It's definitely on
I'm
my
going
list,
to
but
put
it's
this
not 10.
out here now. I fucking hate Love and Basketball,
Love
and
and
so many
Basketball was the
people love it.
cutest movie.
Love and
Like it
Basketball
was
was
so
not a
cute.
movie about romance. Love and Basketball was toxic. You understand? From the beginning to the end, Love and Basketball was toxic to the point to where when they got to the basketball game, and she was like, "I'll play you for your heart," and he beat Shorty down.
He did,
He beat
but he
Shorty down,
still wanted her
and
anyway.
and when the music hit and the music goes, I feel so dumb. I was like, yeah, you should feel dumb because you're a fucking idiot because he told you what it was when Quincy messed up his knee. You know what I'm saying? Quincy, you
No,
hear me in the
but
stand?
I'm
You know
gonna
what
throw
I'm
this
saying?
out here right now. Will has a whole thing for Sanaa Lathan because
What's up,
the
bro?
majority of his movies that he picked, she's in the majority of
Look,
them.
look,
So
me and India agree, then there's a problem. Me and India never agree. No, I don't have a thing for Sanaa Lathan. That's Sanaa Lathan bad. Everybody knows how I feel about Nia Long and the Reginas. Sanaa Lathan was just in a lot of love
Black,
movies.
yeah, she was. She
But
no, she really was.
she was playing the okey doke in damn near every movie, bro.
She was.
He beat her.
She's like the one that you really want, but you don't want because she's boring.
He beat her mercilessly.
But I listen. She is. This is on my list, and I
What's
thought
up,
that
Mom?
Love and Basketball. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining.
He beat her
Um,
mercilessly in the game for her heart, dog. Her heart. He, he
but the
skunked her.
concept was really. I like the
He
concept
skunked
of
her in a game of
everybody had.
basketball for her heart, and he finished it off by dunking on her, and then pay for her emotion was
But
like,
he was supposed to pull back. That was the reality.
no.
He really wanted her. He should have pulled back.
He played with her emotions, and at the end was like, "Let me be emotionally toxic." Let's. And
Overall,
then I'm gonna end it with this.
I
I'm gonna
love
end it with
love
this.
basketball.
Then they tried to end it and make us feel good by giving us a Donnell Jones feel good song at the end of the movie. So no,
All right, India. Okay.
no.
Although I
See,
do still love and basketball, and it is on my in my topper list.
he
So
poked on her.
whatever. Let's go to number 9.
Ooh, Jason's
Ah.
lyric.
So Jason's lyric actually, okay, so I went to the movies. Clearly, this shows my age of how much I like
You was
Jason's
22
lyric.
when this came out, wasn't you?
And what?
Yeah, you was 22 when this came out. You and Stoney Jackson went on a date to go see this thing.
No, no, and no. You're such a jerk. Um, but the only thing I hated was I really hoped that he didn't have a hairy back. And that was my only off put on this whole thing. Them making love in the wild grass with stuff on them. I'm not big on that, but overall, I love Jason's lyric as a top love movie. His love for her was real. And she was hood as usual, especially during this time. She played all those roles. Think Like a Man. It was
Jason's
good.
lyric. Jason's
It
lyric.
wasn't on my top 9.
Jason's lyric was popping, but
There's
it
no but
it
behind
was
it. Come
so,
on.
it
You
was
want to
so
find something
violent,
bad to
dog.
say, but it was good. And of course, my boy Tretch was in there. Shout out to Jers.
That's why
It
you
was
put.
a really good movie.
That's why you put it in there. So for number 9 for me is of course Think Like a Man. Think Like a Man was a dope
You
movie.
would. That
Of
would be
course,
on your list.
yo, as a dude, you came out of this movie being like, okay, so which one am I? You know what I'm saying? You ain't want to girl.
That's true. That's
You didn't
true.
want to ask the girl you was dating at that time because then y'all have an argument about which girl was she. Think Like a Man was a great movie, even though everybody don't agree with
I
what
don't
Steve
consider
Harvey
it to be a
says.
great love movie,
It
but it
was a
was a
it
great
was a romantic.
learning lesson for Black men. Yeah.
So wait. So Jason's lyric is a great romantic movie, but Think Like a Man, where people actually fell in love and they had to get shot, is not.
No, if you ain't got to get shot, listen. I love all the movies where
What
you got to go above and beyond.
what
You
are
got
you
to go
on?
above and beyond for your love. So
What are you
yeah, because
what are
you
you
about to see
on?
my list, and my list is all about going above and beyond for
So
your love.
basically, a love movie for you was New Jersey Drive because everybody got shot in that movie.
There was no love. If there was a love interest in New
It was
Jersey
a
Drive,
love. It
no,
was a love interest in New
that
Jersey
ain't.
Drive,
No, no,
but he
no.
almost got shot over her too. And
Right. So,
y'all see what
I'm
you
all
can't
for
listen
the
to.
going above and beyond.
I can't
So
believe you said Think Like a Man is not a romantic movie. It's a romantic comedy
I'm not into those kind of romantic comedies. Let's
because you
just
want
put it
everybody to get shot in your movie. Let's go to number 8.
that way. Number 8. So I really did think about poetic justice in this, and of course, y'all know my love for Tupac. However, um, it's not on my list. It could have been though. It was like an extra, like a part 10.1. But why do fools fall in love?
Poetic Justice didn't make your top 10,
It didn't make my top
and you
10.
love Tupac.
I
Wow, you just said
know.
that.
I know. I really went back and forth about this too. Like, how can I not? Because this is a movie that I know the words to, that I've watched 7, 10, 15, 20 times. But so is Why Do Fools Fall in Love as well. Frankie, this is a crazy kind of love, but it was a great love. Okay, they really loved each other. It was just psychotic.
I just want to know if everybody sees a pattern. If everyone
Oh,
sees
yeah,
a
it is.
pattern
I do. I looked at
so
yours
far.
and I see a pattern. You like them little fluffy duffy movies.
I'm a hopeless romantic. It's Lovuary on Hallmark Channel, and I don't care nothing about what nobody say. My homeboys be laughing at me, but I tell you what, the Jones love Lovuary. They love Hallmark. They love all them
No,
goofy
that's
movies.
true.
So I'm with it. But I'm
Yeah.
noticing a pattern with yours. Your love has to be tested. Someone has to be shot or cheated
Somebody,
on
yeah,
or
it
something
gets
random.
real. It keeps going that
So
way too.
I'm guessing Boys in the Hood is going to be number 1 for you.
And no,
Now,
but it
Poetic
is on a
Justice.
gangster list.
Poetic Justice is a classic. I can't get past
It is a classic.
Janet Jackson in this role. I'm not gonna lie, it almost didn't make it because one of my favorite rappers, Q-Tip, gets shot in the movie. That's spoiler alert for you if you ain't never seen it.
If you've never seen it, don't even watch this podcast. I mean, come
Poetic
on.
Justice was a great movie. The soundtrack was popping. Janet Jackson and Tupac had great chemistry in the movie, and it's a real hood classic. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about hood joints, it's a real hood classic. So
It
that
is.
was great.
And that's what I do miss. I feel like most of these, especially some of these movies. Now, of course, we didn't have. You could have picked from the 70s, 80s to today, but I feel like the soundtracks on these kind of movies were just better. Like they don't make, you might have one or two songs, but like Wakanda Forever soundtrack was pretty good, but it wasn't like
you just jumped into it. You didn't give us a chance to explain nothing to anything. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at movies from the 70s and the 80s, and I had a hard time picking those over the movies that I did choose.
I feel like it's more like your era of and I think that's
no. I mean, there's so looking at my list, there is one movie from the 80s that did make it, and I'm disappointed because probably one of my literally top 5 favorite movies of all time didn't make it, and it's supposed to be romantic, but
what's that?
Some was mad. Purple Rain. Purple Rain is the greatest movie of all time.
Purple Rain should have been on my list, and I'm gonna throw out an apology right now.
I wouldn't do it because I
thought about it.
I went over this list with other female friends because I couldn't talk to you about it because I know how you do with the choices. I talked to other women friends and we talked about Purple Rain, and it was like, but if the goal is romance, how the hell are you gonna put Purple Rain on there? Because Purple Rain was completely toxic too. Because, like I said, Love and Basketball almost didn't make my list, but everybody kept asking for it, so I was like, fine, I put it at number 10. But when he dunked on her and that song went, oh, I feel so dumb. That is shit I've ever seen. So,
but I still walk away from there like.
I know because you want to get shot. You gotta get misshot and mistreated for your love. I don't know why.
Let's go to number 8. Number 7. Huh.
Ooh.
So, of course, Brown Sugar. You're in that whole series, right?
Where was the love story in Waiting to Excel outside?
What do you mean? All of them were in relationships. There was love at some point until she had to come out and
Wait a minute.
Fire up the place.
So your top 10 is abuse me for this love, because if I'm not mistaken, Waiting to Excel, they were getting cheated on.
They were getting cheated on. But look, this is typical things that
she was his lover and his secretary, working every day of the week.
But ultimately, they learned to love themselves.
She was at the job when no one else was there, okay, helping him to get on his feet.
That is 11 years. I don't care.
And he left her for a white joint. And that's a love story.
And then she learned she had to love herself. So anytime we said love, it did. You love yourself anyway.
Self-love. Mom said that's not a
self-love.
Self-love. The soundtrack was top tier. Mom used to play the hell out of that soundtrack.
Wait to Excel soundtrack. I still play. It's still fire. All of the Faith, the Mary songs. Yeah, my favorite. Brown Sugar. Okay, same as Love and Basketball. I couldn't put both of them on there. Like
what? Brown Sugar and Love and Basketball are not the same movie. Okay, we've already discussed. We've already discovered what kind of love yours is. Waiting to Excel is a story of friendships. Brown Sugar is what he's saying, the perfect rhyme over a dope beat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's he's a good.
I'm all about learning to love yourself, and that's what this all of my top black love goes to love yourself. Yes.
Shakira's top 10 is a love yourself weekend of black movies, but Brown Sugar was everything from the main characters to the background characters to the hoe is mine. Gotta get that bitch.
Brown Sugar was good. It wasn't enough for me to like watch multiple times.
But you wanted to watch Why Do Fools Fall in Love and Waiting to Excel multiple times?
Yes, yep.
Oh my gosh, Shakira.
Keep going.
You deserve better.
Moving on to number 6.
Shakira, what the
love. It was love and it was hate. Okay.
Shakira, what is going on?
It
What
was love
we
and then
need?
it was hate. Okay.
We need.
That's all
We
that
need a
matters.
whole
First of all.
show. We need a whole show intervention for you. Okay, please explain a thin line between.
A thin line between love and hate. Yes, he was a player until he found the right one. And she was the right one. Okay. And then he couldn't get rid of her.
All it took.
And then she turned into a stalker, and tried to kill him. And that's that. Okay.
All it took was for them to get shot.
It's perspective, India. It is perspective. And this perspective is
Shakira.
It is a thin line between love and hate. And he met the right one.
Okay, so I'll give you this. Okay, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate is a classic because Regina King was amazing in it, and she fine as usual.
Right.
Bobby Brown did the acting. You feel how you want to feel about that? Lynn Whitfield was fine.
Lynn Whitfield killed this role.
But Shakira, this was literally a horror film. Shakira?
Yeah, I know. I don't consider this to be a horror film. I don't. I don't. Listen. Love ain't that kind, and I've never been a huge lover of like super sweet sappy movies, except The Notebook, but that's white.
Wait a minute, but this was your idea. You wanted
a black love movies, and this is on my list. It's all about perspective. Will. Okay. However, let's talk about The Photograph. The Photograph was a wonderful film and is on my list. The Photograph is on my list.
It's higher.
So, yeah. See if that makes you feel better.
I love The Photograph.
I love that it captured like all that it entails when it comes to dating, really understanding, learning someone. Like I watched this movie a few times. I thought it was, I think it is, I can consider The Photograph to fall into a classic down the road because I do believe that The Photograph it should be on this list. Yeah. And at first I was finding it hard to find Lisa Ray. I mean, not Lisa Ray. I said Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray. It was at first, because this was the first like love movie that I seen her in. So that was at the beginning a little awkward for me. But then, the whole picture of the movie was really good.
So The Photograph for me would have been higher if it wasn't for the movies ahead of it. So the movies ahead of mine, the movies ahead of The Photograph for me are classics. Like The Photograph is still young. I remember going to go see this movie, and in typical Will fashion, I had a date. I was supposed to go on a date. I ain't going on a date because she irked me. I never called her again. But I went to the movies by myself to go see it. When I got to the theater to go get my tickets, there was a line of like 5 of the most beautiful black women ever. I can't remember where it was. But they were behind me and they noticed I was going to move by myself. So then they was like, "You sitting with us?" So then I sat with them. We enjoyed the movie. We talked about the movie in the middle of the movie because it's how black folks.
Well, I don't like when people talk in the middle of the
movie. Then we went to lunch afterwards and they started, we started talking about random stuff. But that's what I remember about the film. And I remember everyone leaving the film feeling like really good. Mm-hmm. Like for me,
this was a really good vibe.
This is like if they would have tried to remake Love Jones.
I see that.
This would, I ain't saying it is, but this would have been the basis of what they would have tried to do. It was his own story. But I love the main characters. I love the backstory. I love seeing like her going between her mom's story and her story. And Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield were dope in this. Their chemistry was amazing. So for me, this would have been, I think this probably would have been top 3 if it wasn't for the movies that were ahead. And the movies that I have ahead of them are classics. So shout out to The Photograph. And it was a black woman director who actually did this also. She did a lot of episodes for Insecure. I can't remember what her name is. Forgive me, but yeah. So The Photograph was 6. A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. That's nasty work at number 6. I want to see you top 5. So Let's keep it.
Number 5, I chose The Photograph. Okay. Because I do believe it's worthy of being in the top 5. So you just kind of gave that, but The Wood, which is not on my list, um, was actually a classic love story about brotherhood and saving him from making the worst mistake ever. So I love this movie. I thought it was a classic. I tossed up if I was going to put it on my list, but I had other movies that I felt like were better.
The Wood hit different for me because The Wood kind of reminds me of like my friendships. And then there's also always that girl that you lost that like you have the opportunity to get back. Like I love that part of the film. Um, I loved every part of The Wood. The Wood is another one like The Photograph that would be higher on this list for me if it wasn't for the other films on the list. But and then I remember at one point hearing that they were talking about making like a TV show out of it,
Yeah.
a continuation out of it. Omar Epps in this was dope. It was good to see Omar Epps doing something other than killing Bishop. Uh,
One of
uh,
my favorites.
Tay Diggs was awesome in this. Also, I love seeing like I love being able to watch movies where it's like it goes like back in time. Like
Yeah.
you can go back in time and you get that nostalgia from there. I love to be able to see that. And then of course Richard T. Jones, who everybody hates in every other movie now, was great in this movie as Slim. So
This was a really good movie.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but I could see it being from a different perspective, you being a man watching it versus, you know, on my crazy
No,
side.
because ain't nobody get shot, dog. So you ain't.
Right, you're right. I realize I know what I like, and yeah, it's all good. Number 4, shockingly,
Oh, okay.
shockingly, I was like, oh, that's his number 4. That's my number 4. Shockingly, we actually agree on something.
Mhm.
Um, The Best Man, clearly, as all the sequels and all of that. And of course, you could have been The Best Man, Holiday, the
Yeah.
final chapter, and all that. But I think the original Best Man is a classic that can't be redone. Um, it just brought a different element, and like after The Best Man like movie, you felt
Mhm.
soft and tingly inside. It made you want to be in a good relationship, or toxic, right? Depends on what you like. But The Best Man, I mean, is an ultimate classic, and I think that's why I'm good with the final chapters. We don't need another chapter.
You hated on the final chapter though.
Yeah, I know, I did, but I'm not alone.
Who else hated the final chapter?
I know like several people. They didn't hate it. I didn't say I hated it. I'm not gonna say I
Y'all,
hated it.
y'all problematic. Y'all
I
problematic.
just picked through it. I wasn't too keen on it.
I agree with
And
you. The Best Man is probably one of the best ensemble casts I've seen. I remember at one point they were calling them, I think they were calling them like the Black Pack because all of them were like just doing movies. With
and their chemistry on camera is phenomenal.
definitely. I love the background story of it. Um, Best Man Holiday was okay, but I hated that they killed off Mia.
Yeah.
I understood they had to go forward with the story. I did love Best Man and Final Chapter. I don't care what nobody say.
I know
Best
you
Man and
did.
Final Chapter was dope to me. It told the story and it completed everything. The one question I always ask everybody, and if you watch it and you're in the comments, you can answer this too. But here I want to ask you: out of all the Best Man characters,
Mm,
which one was you the most? Like
mm.
which one probably represented you the closest the most?
That's hard. I don't none of them. I'm a little bit of all of them. I would say between um the actress that played Mia in some categories and Nia Long's character.
Mm,
I would say a combination between them two.
I'm probably more of a Quentin than I like to admit.
Hmm. I agree.
I'm a I'm a Quentin. I'm
I agree.
I'm a sweet, lovable asshole that my mouth gets me into trouble on a consistent basis. But it's
Yeah.
a classic movie. I loved The Best Man. Surprised we both had it number 4, so that's good. Let's go
Yeah.
to number 3.
Let's go to number 3. So, yes, I do have Love and Basketball up there.
Come
Yes.
on, what is
Yes.
going on? Number
Yes.
3.
Yes. I really like Love and Basketball.
You want somebody to dunk on you, and then you be like, "Oh my god, I feel so dumb." That's what you want.
No, but everybody knows what it's like when you were that, if you were like that Tom girl that had a friend and y'all, I thought it was like that whole friendship, love kind of combination. It was dope. It's a dope movie. It's a dope movie. Now, Coming to America, I was shocked because could you say this is a love
That's
movie?
not Coming to America. That's Boomerang.
Oh, I'm sorry, Boomerang. Oh, but you had Come to America, so that's my fault. I apologize.
No, that wasn't
You didn't have Boomerang.
coming. No, Boomerang was number 3.
Oh, did you? Well, I think
Yeah,
it was
because
Coming
you
to
screwed it
America.
up. Because you screwed it up.
No, because your list says, wait, let me just go back to your
I'm
list.
looking at the list right now.
Let me just go back.
You
If I
screwed
missed
up the list.
No. Okay, Boomerang. I'm sorry. You're
Well,
right.
yeah.
All right, so Boomerang was yours. I think I didn't change that. Love movie. Okay.
You didn't like Boomerang?
I love Boomerang.
I'm gonna let you say what you got to say first.
No, I think Boomerang is a really good black love movie, but I see more of a well, it's your number 2 for me that I don't agree with. But number 3, all right, I'll give you Boomerang. I don't have
Okay, so
nothing to say.
Boomerang was an amazing movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. Marcus was a player. He got his ass handed to him. Marcus was out here sleeping with old ass Eartha Kitt, God rest her soul, for some cheeks. He came down with it.
See, I feel like, so what's the difference between Thin Line and Love and Hate and Boomerang? Like,
nobody got
both were
shot on.
players.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold up. Did you just ask me what's the difference between Thin Line?
Okay, he didn't get shot, but he still had, a woman running after him.
It was heartbreak. It was heartbreak. It wasn't violence.
Okay.
What are you saying?
Okay.
Anyway, like I was saying, what the fuck is going on today? Like I was saying, Boomerang.
I'll give you this to be in love.
He dealt with heartbreak. I think Boomerang is a perfect example of understanding that the grass ain't always greener. Because the biggest issue I have with this movie, how the hell you choose Jacqueline over Angela? I'm not risking nothing over Angela. She was an artist.
But Angela was safe. She was the girl next door. She was nice and wholesome. She wasn't,
Angela was with the shits when you did her wrong, and
you did her wrong, right? But she was.
I know, but when you go for,
y'all always want the one that's loud and giving the room attention and all that stuff. So,
I don't need that. Yeah, I need Angela.
He made the wrong choice, clearly, but
love would have brought me home last night. You know what I'm saying? And the soundtrack was top tier also.
This soundtrack was fire.
They did a spinoff TV show, and the TV show was actually really good, but the spinoff was like based off of Marcus and Angela's daughter.
I've never seen that spinoff.
And Jacqueline's son. So Jacqueline had a son, and then Marcus.
That didn't last that long.
It was on for like 2 or 3 seasons. It was on BET. Lena Waithe.
Oh, it was on
the writer
BET.
and producer.
There you go.
Oh, you're not a Lena Waithe fan?
No, BET.
So you don't like BET, but BET shows Love and Basketball.
Did I say I didn't like it? I said it was on BET. That makes sense.
Well, BET seems like it's up your alley because you seem like you enjoy a good baby boy marathon every weekend.
I do. But I can watch it on other avenues.
Let me tell you something. If Baby Boy is one of the top 2 on your list, this podcast is over. Another show.
It's not Baby Boy, but you will be shocked at who my number 1 is. But it's not Baby Boy.
Right, let's go to number 2.
So my number 2 is Love Jones because it is a classic. Clearly,
at this point, I want to see what number 1 is. At this point, I want
Love
you to know.
Jones is number 2 for me. It was a toss up, but then I was like, let me go with what I really want. And so, yeah, you're not going to agree, and I don't care.
I bet you. I
Um,
bet you got what's love got to do with it at number one.
what's love got to do with it? No.
Either that, or you got that Beyonce movie Obsession with Idris Elba because somebody dies in that movie.
If Beyonce's in it, no.
Or you got like an old episode of The Wire because that just seems like
no, that is not a love movie. But anyway, but how is Coming to America? I mean, yeah, he goes to find
Coming to America. If you
it's more of a comedy than anything else.
Hold on. Coming to America when it came out was listed as a romantic comedy, and it is a romantic comedy. What is the basis of the movie? This man is trying to, instead of sow his royal oats, he's trying to find a wife, and he finds fine ass Lisa that work at McDowell's. You know what I'm saying? Lisa, who worked at McDowell's.
I don't take away love movie from Coming to America.
We've seen your top 10 already so far, so we know how you get down. So I'm going to pull that all the way. So
whatever.
Lisa, who could have went with the heir to the Soul Glow fortune, instead decides to mess with the gold herder. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the few times we see in the black love movies, you know what I'm saying, where instead of Shorty going for the light skin, I'll be sure-ish rich dude,
girl,
she went for the other brother. You know what I'm saying? And it was a love story because my man went through everything. You know what I'm saying? He was out here living in the projects for her. You know what I'm saying? He gave away a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? So he could make sure that he loved her. She didn't have to dunk on him to play for her heart. Ain't nobody have to get shot. Ain't nobody have to do nothing. And you got to laugh.
I get it. It's about love. I just don't,
It's a romantic comedy, but we already have discussed the fact that I don't know where you are with love, but I think we're going to pray for you at the end of the show. America for me was number 2 because it's a movie I watch all the time, and it's literally, when you look at the soul of the movie is based around love and us being accepting and us being real. Because then if you look at what Simi was doing, it was completely different. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I like that.
King Joffrey, if you know what I'm saying, if you look at her dad, if you look at everything, it was literally based around the purest form of love you can take. And that's literally somebody only seeing you and nothing else. And I'm a hopeless romantic.
Okay, good argument.
So
that's because you're a hopeless romantic. So that makes sense. All right. Drum roll, please. Number 1. Yes. Okay. That is number 1 for me. This is a love movie. She went and got her groove back and found nothing but a chocolate bar. And that's all she needed. That's it. And she found herself. I told you this whole thing is about self-love. So that is how Stella got her groove back. Was it? Yes, and yes.
So how Stella got her groove back was your number 1 black love movie.
Yep.
All time.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Love looks different to everyone, right? It may not be. Now, granted, Love Jones, I don't knock Love Jones. That's why it was number 2, because it was 1 or 2. But Love Jones was really pure, very artsy and cultural. And yeah, is that what I would want? Yeah, he's making songs. He's doing poetry for you. He names poet, but that's fairy tale. You might need to just go ahead and get on a plane.
Love Jones is fairy tale? You said hold up.
Yes.
You said Love Jones is fairy tale?
Yeah. You know somebody that happened to?
Did you watch how difficult it was for them to get to the final point?
No, I get that. I'm not saying that this wasn't a good love movie at all.
You said it's a fairy tale.
But I'm saying it was a whole process. It was it was I don't know.
Okay,
Ultimately, I
okay.
prefer to love myself. So,
We
How
can
Stella got her groove back is number one.
we can tell by your list. Hostella got so we know what Shakira finna do. Shakira don't want nobody her age. She want her young 22-year-old Winston, fresh out of high
You
school,
don't have to be
as
22.
as they say, he still got the Similac on his breath.
No, no.
Love Jones was not a was not a fairy tale. Love Jones was a real life love story, and I guarantee you, at least if you ask 10 people that you know, at least 9 people will tell you they have probably experienced a love like Love Jones in their lifetime if they're not
When
going
I
through
meet them,
it.
I'll have a change of heart.
Love Jones is two individuals literally meeting. Okay, they in different places that they like.
Yes,
They going through breakups. Bam,
yes.
we got
That
chemistry.
is real. Now
We
that
got
part is real.
it's all real. We got wild chemistry. We vibing. You know what I'm saying? Cheeks is being beat. Stuff is being licked. We getting disgusted doing stuff that we wouldn't talk to our parents about. You know what I'm saying? We going out. We having fun. At some point during our love story, something's going to happen to literally challenge us. What
Yes.
challenged them? She decided she wanted to go home
Yeah.
to Raheem, who we didn't know Raheem was still alive, but Raheem was still alive and he was mad about some Cheerios, so she came back. Okay, technically she fumbled the bag. Okay, but while she fumbled the bag,
And that part is true because we do fumble bags.
right, he fell into his old ways. I've done that
Yeah.
a couple different times. I fumbled the bag with somebody in particular that me and my, I'm not gonna go there. They fumbled the bag. We always realize it in the end. Sometimes when it's too late. In this instance, it wasn't too late. I think for me, Love Jones is one of the purest forms you can see of what a real relationship of love looks like. Sometimes it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be completely toxic to where somebody got to get shot or beat the hell up or ain't nobody got to cheat. And then you got to see the stories of all the friends behind. You got to see how your friends support you in love. You got to see people
That
go
part is
through
true. That
you
part
got
is
to
true.
see people going through their differences in marriages that are falling apart and the outlooks that your married friends give you when they're going through stuff. To me, Love Jones is number one because of that. Like Love Jones for me is like the epitome of what a real love probably looks like without all the extra shit that they put in black movies, without
Hmm.
all the nonsense and the bullshit and the origins, this and that and the other. Like it's Love Jones. Um, but like I said too, I also saw that in the photograph, and that's what I loved about the photo.
No, and I agree with that. It was pure.
Yeah,
It was pure. It was pure.
yeah. So okay, so now that we have our top 10 list, Shakira, let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
What's something that probably didn't make your list that you're like, damn, when I look back, maybe it should have made my list?
I would have did
Or
poetic justice.
okay,
Still gangster background, but um um I mean, I think it took a lot for him to have to officially get her and for her to want him. Um, but I always say a man should want you more than you want them, always. Because if you want them more than they want you, more than likely, that may not
what's the
last.
logic behind that? Because I never understood that. What's the logic behind that?
I was told this by like an older woman. She just said because he'll be less to walk away to go cheat on you. He's always going to think about you in the forefront. That don't mean you won't get cheated on. Let's be 100. But I definitely I think women, we're so forgiving. We're so soft in that aspect. So I definitely want him to love me more than I love him just because there'll be a time where, um, I don't know. I
Okay,
think that you should never love a man more than they love you. That's just it.
but on the flip side, as a man, loving a woman more than
Women always love men more a lot, like, and then
would
we're the
you?
ones that we show that vulnerability maybe too early. we, do things that we shouldn't do.
But I
And
mean, technically, when she doesn't love you more, though, it also runs the likelihood that she's probably waiting for something better, right? Because based off the logic, based off that logic,
no,
that's what I feel like.
no, this means I love you. I want to be with you. I see myself with you, but I want you to just have a little more, because I think that maybe it might prevent, you to think before you make your next action when it comes to me. If it's against our relationship, you might at least consider me in the process before that. But
Mhm.
I mean, you can't stop anybody from doing anything that they want to do,
True.
female or male. So I don't, but
So, would you switch out? Would you switch anything around in your current top 10 the way you have it listed?
no.
Okay.
Nope. I stared at my list. I did it over. I looked. I researched. I figured if I want to put anything older in there, and I was like, no, I'm pretty. The Wood I would have considered as well, because that was a really good movie. I just don't know where I would have put it.
Okay. Okay. Dope. 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 Okay. So that literally was our top 10 love movies. So let us know in the comments what you think. Where did we get it wrong? What were we missing? What would your
What
top
would your
10?
number one be, or two?
I still like my list. I as I'm sitting up here looking at it, I probably would move the photograph up. I love the photograph. I loved everything about the movie. I love the musical score. I love the story. For me, I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, life is already hard, so I don't need to sit here and watch a whole bunch of shit in the movie and be like, oh, this is how difficult it's supposed to be. Um, yeah, but I mean, I stand by Coming to America. Coming to America is literally a romantic comedy, and it's like finding love from literally from a man's point of view, like, well, a king, so a prince, so to speak. So I love that. I probably would have took Love and Basketball out because as much
Mhm.
as everybody like it, to me, Love and Basketball is
What's your
not really.
favorite? What about Queen and Slim?
Did you see the end of the movie?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I'm not saying it would be on mine. But their love, they
If
did.
okay, so
They did.
if I could have added it, the only thing about it is, and this probably would have been top three for me, but because one of our rules was it had to be a mainly black ensemble, I couldn't do it. Was Hitch. Hitch
Oh,
is
his would
one
have,
of
yeah. If it
my
wasn't like
favorite movies.
all black like cast, then
Mhm.
Hitch is definitely
Hitch
in the top.
for me, Hitch would have been top three. You know what? Hitch probably would have been one.
Hmm. I
Hitch
now
would-
I would agree with that.
and then my
Hitch was one of those favorites.
all my friends used to call me Hitch because I that's the movie is literally me. I can put anybody together. I can help my friends with love. I can do all that. When it comes to love for myself, I'm all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I love women. Women love me. I just, you know. But we're working on that. And I done went through therapy and I'm good now. My therapist said I need to go ahead and fall in love. I showed her my list and she gave me movies from the 70s and I was like, absolutely fuck not. She was like Lady Sings the Blues. Then she said Mo Better Blues. And I was like, Mo Better Blues was a problematic ass movie too.
It was, but Mo Better Blues was a good movie, but yeah, it wouldn't be on my list.
But we appreciate you all for tuning in. This has been another great episode. We actually have one more best of episode where people asking us to come up with
Yes.
one more. So as we prepare for next week's best of episode, this one is if you're stuck on an island, pick 7 of your favorite albums of all time, any genre. What are you choosing?
This is probably one of the hardest of them
Mhm.
all, because when you think about 7 albums, like for life,
Right.
I really was like, what could get me by for the rest of my life? Like, that's how I looked at it. Like, what could get me by like that I can listen to, take my mind to the memories of when people were around or,
Yeah.
just a good time in my life. So this will be really good. Top 7 if you're stranded on an island. So tune in next week as we discuss that, and we hope that this has been another great episode for you as it has been for us. Again, thank you. Share, like, subscribe, and we appreciate you. Until next week.
Make sure you follow us at the Culture Gumbo Pod on platforms. You can follow me at Mr. Teddy Farrow. Shakira, where can they follow you at?
You can follow me at Shakira MC, and yeah, continue to watch us. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you soon. Thank you for watching. Peace.